Thomas Aquinas for everyone. I'm Dave Palmer, and this is video number 2 on the passions. And remember the last one, we talked about the Stoics, we talked about the Peripatetics, and Aristotle, and whether the passions are good or evil. Thomas basically said, well, they're not good or evil, but to the degree that they conform to reason, right, that can make them good or evil, but in and of themselves, passions are not good or evil. Even, having a passionate desire for a hamburger or a piece of pizza or a drink, it's not in and of itself bad, but having too much of it or maybe obsessing over it or something like that, that kind of loses the rational part of it, then it becomes bad. But in and of themselves, they are not bad. So, all right, that was the last video. Now we're moving on to part number 2 of the passions, and let's see what Thomas has in store for us in this section of the Summa. All right, we are in Prima Secunda, question number 25 and 28. I picked from a couple of different questions here, right? And articles, I should say. And so he's saying here, what is the first of the concupiscible passions? Do you remember what the concupiscible passions are? I used these 4 examples in the last video. Do you remember which 2 of these are concupiscible as opposed to irascible? Do you remember? Do you remember what it was? I'll give you a hint. I'm going to eliminate the 2 irascible ones here. And so we're only going to be left with the concupiscible, all right? The snake and the banana split. And congratulations if you got that right. All right, do you remember why these were the concupiscible? Because it's something that we're either drawn to or we pull back from. Okay, most people pull back from snakes. Most people are drawn to banana splits, right? That's what the concupiscible is. What's the first of the concupiscible passions is what he's asking here. And Thomas says that the first of the concupiscible passions is love, okay? And this is really interesting. Augustine, now here he's quoting Augustine, Thomas quotes Augustine a lot, says that all the passions are caused by love, since love, yearning for the beloved object, is desire, and having and enjoying it is joy. Okay, therefore love is the first of the concupiscible passions. Think about that. Every single thing we do every single day is done out of love. That's what he's going to say here. Everything, without exception. Okay, even the bad stuff, which we'll see in just a second. Everything we do is motivated by love. Good and evil are the object of the concupiscible faculty. Now, good naturally precedes evil, since evil is a privation of good. That's a big part of Thomistic philosophy. We'll get more into that here in a little while. All right, so he goes on. Wherefore all the passions, the object of which is good, are naturally before those, the object of which is evil. That's a very optimistic way of looking at life, that everything that we do first is motivated by the good. Evil is just a privation. That is to say, each precedes its contrary passion, because the quest of a good is the reason for shunning the opposite evil. Every agent acts for an end. All right, very, very important. Everything we do. Remember last video I started with that? Everything we do, from our observation of nature, to eating, to sleeping, to drinking, to having a good time with friends, it's all having to do with our final end. Okay, that's one of the things that Thomas says. Okay, every agent acts for an end. Now the end is the good desired and loved by each one. Wherefore it is evident that every agent, whatever it be, does every action from love of some kind. Okay, everything is motivated by love. Okay, it simplifies everything, doesn't it? It shows you the motivation you have for everything that you do. All right, so that's a concupiscible passion. What about the irascible? Do you remember the irascible? That was like fear and anger and hope and daring and these kind of things. What's the very first one of them? Here's a clue. This lady is buying a lottery ticket, okay? Why does anybody buy a lottery ticket? Okay, you may think it's stupid, but everybody buys a lottery ticket because they hope they're going to win a bunch of money, right? So hope springs eternal in the human breast, and Thomas is going to say here that hope is the first of the irascible passions. Now, if you remember what I said about love and the order of good and evil, you'll say, okay, that's because hope is always for something good, right? Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's basically what he's going to say here. Since then, in order of generation or execution, proportion or aptitude to the end precedes the achievement of the end, It follows that of all the irascible passions, anger is the last in the order of generation. Okay, just kind of put that on hold for a while. And among the other passions of the irascible faculty, which imply a movement arising from love of good or hatred of evil, those whose object is good, for example, hope and despair, you're thinking, the object of despair is good? Well, we're going to learn about that in a future video, okay? So kind of put that in the back of your mind and just kind of don't dwell on that right now, okay? Uh, must naturally precede those whose object is evil, for example, daring and fear. All right, these are all irascible passions. We're going to talk about all of them specifically here, okay? Isn't that exciting? Yet, so that hope precedes despair, okay? Since hope is a movement towards good as such, which is essentially attractive. We don't hope for anything bad, do we? I mean, have you ever hoped for something like a car accident, or hope that, your boyfriend or girlfriend breaks up with you, if assuming you like them? No, you'd never do that. You only hope for good things, right? So hope tends to good directly, whereas despair is a movement away from good, okay? A movement which is consistent with good, not as such, but in respect of something else. All right, he's getting a little deep there, but all you got to know right now is that hope is the first of the irascible passions. What's the first of the concupiscible passions? Love. All right, isn't this interesting? I'm really digging this. All right, final article of this video, we're talking about, is love the cause of hatred? That sounds so counterintuitive, doesn't it? It sounds so ironic. It sounds like an oxymoron. How could love be the cause of hatred? So what epitomizes hatred in your mind? All right, those crazy rioters, I've shown this picture a number of times. Obviously, there's some hatred in their soul. If they're going to go bashing in windows or businesses, okay? Are they motivated by love? Thomas would say yes. What about ISIS? Okay, remember the ISIS fighters, and they're doing crazy stuff and killing people? Are they motivated by love? Okay, Thomas would say yes. Adolf Hitler, kind of the epitome of evil in our culture, all right? Did a lot of evil things. Okay, what about something a little bit more mundane, like things that we could relate to? We can't really relate to Hitler or ISIS or rioting. Most of us can't. How about something like jealousy? Look at this girl here. She is maybe experiencing some hatred. Okay, jealousy, envy, right? So how does that all tie into everything, right? Thomas is going to say here, Augustine says that all emotions are caused by love. All emotions are caused by love. Therefore, hatred also, since it's an emotion of the soul, is caused by love. Love consists in a certain agreement of the lover with the object loved, while hatred consists in a certain disagreement or dissonance. Now we should consider in each thing what agrees with it before that which disagrees, since a thing disagrees with another through destroying or hindering that which agrees with it. Consequently, love must needs precede hatred, and nothing is hated save through being contrary to a suitable thing which is loved. Okay? I'll give you an example here. And hence it is that every hatred is caused by love. That is wild. I bet you never thought about that. Okay, think about this example of the girl. She's jealous, right? Let's just say she hates the brunette girl hates the blonde-haired girl, right? Why? Because she loves the guy. All right, so love is the cause of the hatred. She only hates the girl because she loves the guy, and that's the case for everything. Anything that we hate is caused by something else that we love. Okay, isn't that interesting? All right, that brings us to an end of the Passions Part 2. We have 4 more videos on the passions. Okay, that's cool. I got you understand a little bit more about kind of what makes us tick, and you can make a little bit more sense. And also, when you feel passion, when you feel, anger or hope or despair or envy or whatever, okay, you can connect it to the final end. That's what the whole Summa is about. I keep saying that, but it's true. We've got to make sure that everything that we do, every action, every thought, we take captive and we say, this is connected to my final end, which is coming to know and be with God for all of eternity. That's what the Summa is about. Thanks for joining me. This is St. Thomas Aquinas for everyone. I'm Dave Palmer. God bless you.